One single injection unlocks your DNA and will release another version of yourself. This is the substance.
The story kicks off with a weird scene. Some dude's injecting green liquid into an egg yolk, and boom, it splits into two. Then we cut to a star made for Elizabeth Sparkle, a gorgeous model and show host. Folks used to line up for selfies with her, but that craze faded fast. The star was left broken and ignored, a clear sign that people were losing interest in Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth is in her 50s but still working the same gig. After a shoot, she heads to the washroom. The ladies' room is locked for some reason, so she steps into the men's, where she overhears her director on the phone. He's bad-mouthing her, saying she's not the star she used to be and that her show's ratings are falling. He flat out says he's got to replace her with a new, young, and beautiful girl. That news absolutely devastates Elizabeth. The beauty she took such pride in was officially over. She stares at the wrinkles in the mirror. She couldn't let it go, so she went to see the director. He was cold, telling her there was nothing he could do to help. He explained his show runs on what people want, namely beauty, and she didn't have that anymore. Completely broken by his words, Elizabeth left, but his insults kept echoing in her head as she drove. Distracted, she lost control, and a car coming from the opposite direction crashed hard into hers. Astonishingly, she didn't have a single scratch in that brutal accident, just a lucky break. The doctor let Elizabeth go from the hospital, but she started crying hysterically after seeing her old pictures on a billboard on the way out. A nurse checked her back and gave her clothes. Once outside, Elizabeth felt a note in her coat. The message said the nurse had changed my knife. There was also a flash drive labeled the substance. Back at home, she immediately played the drive. It gave her the lowdown on a fluid called the substance. This was a magical fluid that could give any older person a new, young version of themselves. The package would also include another fluid to keep both the old and new bodies going together. It wasn't simple, but it wasn't impossible either. The rules were strict. She had to activate both variants every 7 days. To keep the new young body stable, she had to inject it daily with a special substance drawn directly from the spine of her old body. When one version was active, the other would be unconscious. Elizabeth initially thought the whole thing was a lie and dumped the flash drive in the trash. But a total breakdown that night, she was distraught. Messing with pictures of her youth made her change her mind. She came to her senses and texted the number to order the substance. The person on the other end didn't talk much, only asking for her address and then providing her with a special hidden address and a call card. The next morning, Elizabeth saw a company ad in the paper promoting interviews for a new model to replace her. That made her even more depressed. Along with the paper, she picked up a black envelope with a number written on it. Elizabeth followed the directions to the secret location, which was a locker room hidden inside a building. She used her number card to access the spot and opened her locker to find a box which she took home. Once home, she opened the box, which was packed with stuff. First, there was a serum and an injection for one-time use. Next, there was a stabilizer kit to stabilize the new body daily, which, as the flash drive explained, would draw its fluid from the backbone of the old body. A special kit was also provided for switching between the two bodies, along with special food for both her young and old versions. Elizabeth went into the washroom and stared at her body for a long time, clearly struggling to decide if she should go through with it. After a moment, she finally injected the green fluid, the substance, into herself. Nothing happened at first, but then the pain became so intense it felt like her eyes were going to burst. She saw her eyeballs double, and then her back tore open, and a new young girl came out. This was Elizabeth's new version, a young body emerging from the old one. She looked at herself in the mirror, unable to believe that what she had done actually worked. She was unbelievably beautiful and young. After admiring her new looks, she attached a food bag to her old body, the one she had just torn out of, to keep it alive as provided by the company. She spent the entire night celebrating her new beauty. The next morning, she woke up to a bloody nose and got worried. She suddenly remembered the activator kit and the instructions. To keep the young body active every day, she had to pull the substance from the old body's backbone and inject it into herself. She immediately started removing the substance from the old body's spine and, after injecting it, felt completely normal. Her new beauty was far better than before, so she got ready and went to audition for the same show that had dumped her. Her beauty stunned everyone, and the director instantly selected her. She gave her name as So. After getting the job, So remembered the weekly body switching rule. She made up an excuse, saying her mom was sick and she had to go to her village every week to care for her. The director agreed without a second thought. So got the job and loved it. She used her new body and its beauty to quickly gain a massive following. Soon, her billboards and ads were running all over the city. 6 days passed, and now it was the 7th day, time for the body shift. For the next week, Elizabeth's old version would be active. After the switch, Elizabeth, the old body, hooked up her new body to a foot attachment and went to her old office. The director gave her money as a gift and treated her horribly, practically throwing her out of the office. She went home feeling awful. The next day, Elizabeth got a black envelope while reading the paper, and the message said her new refill kit was ready. She put on her coat and shirt and went to pick it up. Soon, 7 days were up, and Elizabeth switched back to activate So. So wanted to maximize her fun, but she worried that being seen too often might expose her secret. So, she decided to tear down a wall in her house to hide Elizabeth's old body. The noise was so loud her neighbors started to get concerned. When a neighbor came to complain, So's beauty was so captivating that the neighbor couldn't complain. Instead, the neighbor offered help, but So was trying to keep her work secret, so she rudely shut the door on the neighbor. It took her many hours to finish, successfully creating a secret room to hide Elizabeth's old body. Since So was famous now and had taken Elizabeth's place, she hid all of Elizabeth's old youth photos. So was having such a blast in her new body that she completely missed the day for the body switch. Elizabeth's old body was starving, and the switch was overdue. So even brought a friend home. While she was busy, her nose started bleeding, and a strange sensation hit her body. She realized it was time to switch, but she got greedy and decided to stay as So for a while longer. She drained all the remaining substance from Elizabeth's body and injected it into herself, making her feel better. So spent another 7 days like this, leaving Elizabeth's body's fate to be determined later. When So finally switched back, Elizabeth saw that one of her fingers had melted. This was a direct result of her carelessness and not switching bodies on time. Panicked, Elizabeth called the company to ask for a solution for her broken finger, saying she missed the cycle. The company responded that nothing could be done to fix what had already happened. They sternly told her that she needed to be careful because she wasn't two separate people, but one, and her new body came from her old one. Elizabeth was terrified. Elizabeth went to pick up her new refill kit. At a restaurant, she saw an old man who was talking to her strangely. Elizabeth noticed the man had the same mark on his hand that she had seen on the nurse's hand in the hospital. This man was the nurse's old version. He asked her a chilling question. Was her new body beginning to consume her? Elizabeth got scared and ran away. Back home, Elizabeth tried to find happiness in her old version. She called her friend, dressed nicely, and put on makeup like So. Just as she was about to leave, she saw So's posters outside. All her confidence evaporated. In a fit of depression, she ruined her makeup and hair, went crazy, ate a massive amount of food, and went to sleep. The next day, she switched to So for the show. While filming and dancing, a strange hump appeared on her lower body. Confused, she rushed to the washroom and pulled something out of her belly button. She realized it was a chicken she had eaten the night before as Elizabeth. Terrified, she woke up. It had all been a dream. After switching bodies for real, she went to the set, but got scared when she saw the crew packing up. They told her the show was canceled. She rushed to the director, who calmed her fears by saying she wouldn't be doing the regular show anymore. Instead, she would host the New Year's Eve event. She was ecstatic and immediately said yes. So completely ignored the fact that New Year's Eve was the day she had to switch back to Elizabeth. She stayed in her new body for many days, over-injecting the stabilizer she took from Elizabeth's old body. This was having a severe effect on the old body. When she finally switched back after many days, she saw that Elizabeth was completely ravaged and old from having too much serum taken out. Elizabeth began to hate So. She destroyed all of So's photos in the house and covered the mirror that showed So's billboards outside. Worried, she called the company to ask if there was any way to get her original body back. The company repeated that what was done couldn't be changed, but that she had the power to stop everything right there and live out her life in her current old body. Elizabeth refused. So called, and Elizabeth switched back. The first thing So did was drain Elizabeth's old body again. So enjoyed 3 months in her new body. Then, on the night before New Year's Eve, her fluid finally ran out. She was at a guy's house when her organs started to burst. She tried to get the serum from Elizabeth's body, but this time, nothing came out. Worried, she called the company. They told her that if no serum was coming out, it meant she had used it all, and she needed to switch her body to wait for a new serum. So's condition was deteriorating fast, so she started the switch. The guy she was with heard the strange sounds and came to the washroom to investigate. The old Elizabeth quickly locked the door before he could see her horrifying appearance. She was extremely old, bald, and struggled to walk. Elizabeth was desperate and called the company, saying she wanted to stop the entire process. They agreed and told her to take the termination fluid. Her old body looked awful, but she managed to hide it with her clothes and went to get the termination substance. After bringing it back, she was about to inject So's body, but then she remembered the manager's warning. If she injected the termination substance, she would be permanently stuck in the body she was in right now. Thinking about this, she didn't inject the serum. She looked at her reflection and got mad at So again, blaming her for everything. She injected the serum into So, but only half the dose. She was too greedy. She still wanted to host the massive show and get the award, wanting to hear the praises people used to give her. This greed stopped her from injecting the full amount. She tried to wake So up for a long time. When So didn't wake up, Elizabeth tried to switch bodies, but it wouldn't work. In a desperate move, Elizabeth injected her own remaining activator into So, who instantly woke up. When So realized Elizabeth was trying to kill her, she became enraged. So beat Elizabeth until her head was crushed, and Elizabeth died. So finally realized the terrible mistake she had made. She had killed the source of her activator substance. So cleaned up the scene and went to her New Year's program. The crowd was thrilled to see her, and she felt fantastic. But then, she started feeling something strange in her body, and she rushed to the washroom. When she opened her mouth, 2 of her teeth broke and fell out. When she touched 2 other teeth, they also broke and fell. She realized that Elizabeth's death meant her body was hollow. To stay alive, she desperately needed the activation serum. She rushed home. While in the elevator, one of her nails and one of her ears fell off. Panicked, she hid it from another person who entered the lift. She acted like nothing was wrong and hurried home. So quickly injected the activation serum, but nothing happened. Then she remembered the 2 one-time substances. Without thinking, she injected one into herself. So was in agonizing pain. As before, her body tore open from the waist, and a mixture of So and Elizabeth, a terrifying, strange, monstrous variant, burst out. So had become a hybrid. Her mental state was a mess, and she couldn't grasp what she was or if she could face the world. She put a picture of So over her hybrid face and went to her show. As she reached the microphone on stage, the photo fell from her mouth. Everyone saw her grotesque, creepy hybrid face. The audience panicked and ran away, screaming that she was a monster. One man, terrified, hit Elizabeth's face with a baseball bat. Her face fell off, and blood covered the entire studio. Elizabeth's body split into bizarre pieces and crawled away like an insect. Where her star had been, her entire body was destroyed. Elizabeth's face was left lying on the floor, looking at the ceiling and smiling. The next morning, the cleanup crew came and cleaned it all up. And that's the end of the movie, guys. If you liked it, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell so you don't miss the next videos coming up on our channel. See you next time.